Over the past year, I've been spending almost all my free time working on this one-of-a-kind tiny house on wheels. Inspired by the creative possibilities and alternative lifestyle, and finally pushed over the edge by the high cost of living and insane real estate prices in my area, I started construction on this project back in August 2023. Now the day has finally come to move this away from the shop and to its first permanent location. So before I can just hook onto this house and tow it away, there's a couple things that need taken care of. First, I'm just cleaning up all the loose items. Next, the 4-corner stabilizer jacks have to come off. Then I have to disconnect the propane and water line, and the electricity. This shower door would be able to swing freely on the road, so I just made this little wood wedge and wedged this shut for the trip. Lastly, there's the issue of the chimney coming off the incinerating toilet that makes this unit over height and over width of a standard 12-foot wide load permit into escort territory, so I'm just removing this quickly because it's a 10-minute job that saves a lot of bullshit. And now this unit's ready to hook onto my dad's truck and begin our towing journey. Though this is an oversized load, we actually didn't even get an oversized load permit for this just because we're only taking in about 3 or 4 kilometers down some country roads, so we're just going to take our chances for this short trip. I also have no idea what this weighs, but I'm almost certain it's over the towing capacity of this F-250. But again, short trip, so fingers crossed. Oh, that thing looks like it's not supposed to move. It's very large.
Yeah.
So our first stop along this journey is actually going to be at an agricultural weigh station, so that I finally know what this tiny house actually weighs. The inside isn't fully complete yet, but this will give me a good ballpark of how much room I have left. The rated capacity of the tri-axle trailer the house is built on is 21,000 pounds, so I'm hoping we're a good 5,000 pounds under that anyway.
How much?
15,000.
And with that information, we're ready to get back on the road. So at just over 15,000 pounds, this is a pretty ideal weight for where we're sitting in the build right now. Like I said, there's still some work to do on the inside, mainly the kitchen cabinets, but that gives me tons of weight to finish that up without having to compromise on any of the structural integrity. Like I said in the past videos, this unit is not at all made to travel around like a camper. It's really only meant to be portable for when I need to move next. So as long as it's under the 21,000 pound rated capacity of the trailer, I really don't care how much this weighs, and I'm guessing it'll be around 18,000 pounds when it's done. If you've watched any of my other videos, there's a good chance you'll recognize my new backyard, which just happens to be my old backyard. Right now I live in my parents' basement, and over the past couple of years of making YouTube videos, I've decked out their house and yard with this one-of-a-kind sauna, mountain-inspired stone hot spring, heated doghouse, TV window to anywhere, and some other videos still to be released. So now I'm finally moving out of my parents' basement and into my parents' backyard. This is kind of a win-win because building lots in this area are upwards of $400,000 or $500,000, which doesn't make any sense for a $120,000 tiny house, and I still get to use all the cool stuff I've built over the last few years. So to prep for the tiny house, I first had to measure out for a couple of footings, mainly under the wheels and under the stabilizing jacks. So with an excavator that I had rented for one of my next videos, I dug these footings out about 6 or 7 inches deep. And then I filled them in with 3 or 4 inches of 3/4 inch clear gravel and leveled that as best I could. Before adding on a couple inches of pea gravel, and then under the stabilizer jacks I'm just using these 16-inch concrete patio pavers. And under the wheels I'm using a couple of these 5-inch thick ash beams that will essentially act as a floating pad. I decided to use some wood beams instead of pouring concrete because this is a less permanent method. I'm not sure how long the tiny house will be staying here, and once it leaves I can pick these beams out of the ground and take them with. So back to moving day. Our first step is we have to lift this sauna out of the way, so I had to rent a telehandler to do this. This is the same way we originally placed the sauna, by the way. A lot of people were asking that in the original video. This is how we did it. And then with that temporarily lifted out of the way, we can back the tiny house back in place onto the footings. With the house in place, we can set the sauna back into position, and I'm finally home. Next, I installed the 4-corner stabilizing jacks and played around with them until I had the floor as level as I could get. And then I reinstalled that toilet chimney. And then I have this utility post in the ground that I originally installed when I built the stone hot spring about a year ago, and it has some 60 amp power as well as a water line that runs out from the main house 5 feet underground. And then on the exposed part of the piping I also have one of these heat lining cables to keep the water flowing through the winter, and I'm just hooking up the tiny house with a drinking water hose. And I'll replace that with a heated hose once we're a little closer to freezing. Then I hook my propane line back up, and plugged in my power, and now I have my utilities. And lastly, just a little bit of landscaping work outside. I did the original renderings for this project in the summer of 2021 and started construction on this in August 2023. It's been a very, very long journey, fueled by the simple hope to have my own house in a world that's making that more and more difficult. But it feels so good to finally be home. There's still a little more work to do on this tiny house, but I'm hoping by the end of this year this should be a fully livable home. Heck of a view, too. Thanks for watching my video. I have a couple more videos coming out on this in the future, so hit the subscribe button if you want to see how this project turns out in the end. Until next time, thanks for watching.